Programming with a picaxe microcontroller, using teaching and learning strategies to improve my teaching of programming. My programming topic is teaching with the 08M2 picaxe microcontroller using BASIC as an initial programming language. To introduce Year 7 and 8 students to computer science and digital technology curriculum concepts. Some background about the development and current use of the picaxe system. It was developed by Clive Seeger in 1999. He used a customized version of BASIC. BASIC used to be one of the first high-level programming languages learned by people. The picaxe system has been adopted by hundreds of thousands of users, industrial, hobbyist, and educational. Seeger was particularly interested that this system be used in education. This has happened in some parts of the world, particularly the UK. The focus of my research was to test the picaxe unit of learning I was developing in a number of whole class situations, 20 plus students, to make observations about the students' engagement and learning, to make refinements to enable other teachers to use the resources as an introduction to programming, to showcase the picaxe system used as a simple programmable data catcher, and to teach students and teachers how to develop programs to collect data to inform themselves about their local environment. Here are 5 students set up to use the picaxe system. Pedagogy. Identified my pedagogy as instructional scaffolding and developing learning using instructional design, ID. ID is the practice of creating instructional experiences which make the acquisition of knowledge and skill more efficient, effective, and appealing. The state and needs of the learners were determined by the immediate wider aims of the new digital technology curriculum, that all students will be introduced to concepts around computational thinking and developing a digital outcome from 2018. The end goal of this unit of instruction could be defined as preparing a cohort of students for a successful programming future. We do this by enabling students to enjoy a first programming experience and having some good programming practice modelled for them. The intervention created to assist in the transition described above was this unit of learning utilising the picaxe system. The outcome of this instruction is assumed as positive so far by the engagement of the students and their verbal feedback, and will be verified by the assessment data from all the students' assignments. I will collate this data when both cohorts of students have completed the unit. Year 7 and Year 8 students, 540 students. The following slides describe aspects of scaffolding and instructional design. Focus questions. What teaching and learning strategies are required to deliver this unit? How useful is the literature about teaching and programming and providing guidelines to set up this new picaxe teaching and learning unit? The resources is listed. We have the global picaxe website, picaxe.com. We have the New Zealand website. These were the key resources. And of course, the digital technology progress outcomes. All Year 7 and 8 students should have opportunities to learn about digital technology. Resources are therefore required to enable New Zealand teachers to provide these opportunities. Here is a shot of the global picaxe site, very useful for hardware, software, very, very comprehensive. Here's 3 snapshots of the local website, picaxe.co.nz. This is the one we used for instruction for the students. As you can see, they could take photos of their components, the breadboard, the picaxe microcontroller chip, and then they could copy their lessons, as you can see with the blue code in the bottom right-hand corner. And of course, the progress outcomes from the TKI site. Students enjoyed accessing these sites and using them as their own teaching resources. This sense of ownership and self-control came through clearly with each group as they began to teach themselves using the resources provided. The literature that helped shape this unit of learning, 2 studies, one from Australia and one from Finland. They focused on teachers' experience introducing picaxe, and so I gleaned a lot of background information from these 2 readings. Of particular interest is the Finnish study because it has a lot of practical coding examples and teaching examples, and so I hope to refer back to that. The description of the context and resources used. This unit was taught online with each student having their own laptop together with a picaxe microcontroller that was mounted on a breadboard with a 4.5 volt battery pack attached underneath. Each student had a USB download cable to attach them to their picaxe microcontroller. The students listed, photographed and described their components as they were introduced. They recorded examples of code that they used, and then they recorded and graphed the data that they collected. The key concepts of the lesson planning were a series of 4 90-minute lessons introducing basic electronic concepts and terms. There are various short lessons about energy sources, batteries, energy users like LEDs. There was an introduction to the programming exercises. We made an LED flash, a speaker play a tune, got to alter the tune. This all allowed practice using the programming editor Mac XPad. There was a series of scaffolded lessons to reuse code provided on the website to encourage students' success and to build their confidence in simple programming tasks. All the lessons built towards a real-world application of the skills and knowledge required, allowing students to practice and reinforce their learning. They collected light and temperature data using the programs in the picaxe system that they had copied. Students had a 1-to-1 ratio of laptops and picaxe kits for their assignment recording of learning, for their programming, and for their testing of programs. And of course, there's the website again. Most students had little or no prior knowledge or formal programming concepts and practices. This unit was planned and delivered within the existing technology program, and I'm hoping to build on it in following years. All students participated in the unit. The issue that was observed was really that students enjoyed the unit, they worked hard to complete the task, and there was a high sense of ownership that has been observed. Here are examples of their code, their maps, their graphs, description of their results, and also some student observations. As you can see, the temperature went down a little between place 1 and 2. This graph shows my data of the different shades and temperature around the school. And then over here we have this program proved quite difficult for this unit with Mr. And I found the project really confusing at first, but as I went back to talk to the teacher throughout, I got more confidence in working. So really good feedback from the students just naturally occurring in their assignments. Reflection: students engaged well. They but presenting the terms from the new digital technology curriculum in computer science often seemed artificial and cluttering. And so I observed from the students' understandings and what they recorded in their assignments, things like sequence and then iteration. We more simply explained them as being step by step, one instruction after another, and repeat or loop. This seemed to be understood better. Engagement with the topic and related debates. The picaxe microcontrollers have been used in technology in many countries for many years, actually for decades. There's a wide use of this resource, but it's been eclipsed by the introduction of many new programming platforms. A wide array of resources available for the picaxe platform, it still remains one of the cheapest and easiest to set up and deliver. Recommendations and limitations acknowledged. It's a great beginning resource. It's very expensive to set up for a student and operate. It's great support resources. There's a great worldwide community of users, and students seem to learn it very easily. The challenge was to deliver understanding to students being introduced to programming about programming while maintaining the students' interest in the real-world purposes to which the programs can be used. And that's why I really tried to keep the real-world problem of could we measure temperature, light, moisture around our environment? Could we actually collect data about that using the programs that we had learned to program? And the students really engaged in this, and it worked quite well. As next steps, we're developing an even better picaxe resource for teachers to use. It's got a little lithium-ion battery instead of AA batteries, self-recharging. It's got a little photoelectric cell, so it can recharge itself, and of course it's got a USB recharger. So what do I do next? I'm going to continue to develop the picaxe.co website as a teaching resource, learn wider sets of example codes that provide exciting examples for students to get working, including the codes to measure the generation of the solar energy from the little solar panel that's going to be mounted permanently on the board, to measure the stored energy in the lithium battery, also mounted permanently on the new board, having a program to tell you when the kit needs repowered, so if those two are not sufficient, then a message will come up and you can repower it using the USB port, having the light turn on when you pick it up so that you know it's working, and having alarms that can be set to turn on when dark or when light. And all these are sort of onboard test programs, example programs. Effective changes to teaching delivery that have been achieved. The assessment focus of this project would be best be described as my attaining a position of confidence that for both teachers and students, this unit of learning can be used to introduce themselves to picaxe programming for the first time. And it works well. The readings and discussions of this course have clarified some teaching, learning understandings and allowed a better approach to teaching program in this unit. And that's definitely, I'm quite clear now about those beginning aspects of programming, which things to present first and in what order. Most students completed the coding aspects of the unit and recorded their learning to a good standard. Many students engaged very well over the 6 hours of this unit of learning. They recorded their data collection, which was the aim of the unit. A natural progression from very limited understanding or experience with programming to successful use of the programming to collect useful light and temperature data was experienced by most of the participating students. This unit has been thoroughly tested, 210 students so far. They've used the site as their tutor, and they've copied original lines of code, they've modified that code to increase their understanding, and they've annotated their code to show examples. And here is an example. The teaching and learning strategy used to deliver this unit allowed good progress to be made in delivering learning, and overall most students enjoyed and engaged in learning to use the picaxe system. The literature providing guidelines for picaxe teaching and learning are limited, even though a large amount of practical coding and project information is available. This has been a more difficult aspect of the learning journey. Here are the references. Thank you very much.